Emma, what are we missing in pop culture this week?
Oh God, I mean, like the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce Super Bowl.
Is that still the? I guess it is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, the,
That's all you think about.
Yeah. The two of them just had. She won album of the year, and then he won the Super Bowl 2 weekends in.
It's a fix.
Yeah.
You think it's
I mean,
the Illuminati?
I think.
Why
Well,
wouldn't they?
yeah. Well, I think there's like the NFL is like paying her because she's bringing eyeballs to the NFL.
That's the conspiracy.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't think is that crazy. Like, especially if she's like, I know I'm bringing lots of eyeballs to you. Like,
Yeah.
she's a businesswoman.
No, I don't buy it.
I mean, that's what.
Why wouldn't you?
That's
Yeah.
what Twitter is saying. I
wouldn't
still
be
call it
surprised
Twitter.
if she was incentivized, not necessarily to date Travis Kelce, but to like, yo, be around. Like, if you
Basi-
want
I
to
think
be in
it's
the
like-
spots.
Incentivized by his 6'5" Jack Bond, baby.
Exactly.
Well,
It's like-
exactly. I think it's like it's somewhat. I mean, he reached out to her. I think it's somewhat organic, but also like being like, this will be great. I think he wants to be an actor. He wants to he wants to be like a.
He's
he
really
wants to,
liking
like John Cena. Like he wants to be an actor. After he loved hosting SNL. Like,
Yeah.
he's a bit of a ham. He has a podcast with his brother.
Winning
He
a couple Super Bowls
definitely-
wasn't enough. He's
Yeah,
gotta really.
I think he's definitely like looking forward. He's already producing a movie. He has like a producer.
Is he
credit.
starring in it?
No. I think
gotta
it's
get some names.
I think it's a South by Southwest
Yeah.
movie, and he's like one of the producers, something
yeah.
like that.
That's what we were saying on a couple
And
pods ago.
she helps him get there and get goodwill, and like, so I think it's like they probably do like each other, and they're legitimately dating, but there's also kind of this very like
Yeah, she always sees the opportunity to monetize the
totally.
life that you're gonna have.
Yeah,
You're gonna date this guy. Guess what? You gotta go to NFL.
She has a new album coming out. This album won't cover their relationship, but the next one will.
Oh.
So it's like,
Oh, love songs galore.
yeah, exactly.
But no more heartbreak for Taylor. Just
Yeah,
pure love.
Just pure love. Yeah.
So you're betting this is forever. That's
Oh, this is forever for sure.
You don't think this is gonna end? You think this
No,
is
they never
a
end.
ring?
People are saying
Never.
this is the one, but they were saying that about Joe Alwyn, the actor, before.
I think it's Joe.
Exactly.
It's not the Super Bowl champ.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That
This is
He's
our
just
high
some
school
dude from
like
England. Yeah.
yeah, this is our high school like come to fruition. Like literally the football player and the most popular girl in school.
Exactly.
Like,
Wow.
all are together. We can't look away.
And the sadder thing is, we all like actors, so we were the drama nerds, and then this guy was the best athlete, and now he's the one in
He's the
movies.
actor,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Yeah, but I've seen it all before, right? We saw Britney with Justin Timberlake. We thought that was the thing. And then guess what? She went into the Kevin Federline era of her life. And I'm waiting for Taylor Swift to revert.
You're her Kevin Federline.
Find herself a little bit of a ditch pig. She was waddling around in the mud, date a backup dancer, and then try and recoup the life. But I guess she'd probably already done that.
She had the Maddie Healy, who is that singer of the 1975, who's that British band, and he's like a bit of a dirtbag.
Oh, right.
And he was on a podcast where they were saying pretty like shitty racist stuff. And then people were basically like, Taylor's dating a Nazi. And then, which,
She's like,
that-
I gotta wash my hands.
no,
of
like
this.
literally. And then, it's like her PR people like disappeared him. And it was like, they grew apart.
They put a
She's
bag
still
over his
like-
head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like meanwhile, he was like at her shows, like in the audience being filmed, like dancing to her songs. Then all of a sudden it was just like, not him. And then, like,
God.
Tree Payne is her publicist. Tree Payne.
Oh, cool. Cool
And
name.
so people are like, Tree Payne is like, nope, it's not working. And so people think that this upcoming album is like a little bit about like her dirtbag era, but then they replaced him with like the prom king of the United States.
Right.
Yeah, who was
Photoshop.
also filmed at her concerts wearing the.
Mhm.
Oh my God! I was
She
fully.
put-
This isn't a conspiracy.
She put his name into songs when she's singing. She did the same for Maddie Healy, where she was pointing at him in the crowd.
Blowing a couple
But,
kisses,
yeah,
giving the
Yeah,
eye love,
and
the
then
heart.
now he's bringing his dad to her shows, and everyone's forgotten. So
Right.
That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
you're talking about monetize everything,
Mhm.
but once you reach a certain echelon of it, like other people can monetize you
yes,
as well.
yeah,
And like I was reading this thing about her and Mr. Beast, how there are discords that track Instagram posts that include them,
yes,
and so you can go on these discords and find out where they are right now. So you
Whoa.
can go be like, someone just asked Mr. Beast for a photo in the grocery store
Mhm.
in this town. He's there right now.
So then people would mob to
So
get
people
there.
can mob to get there.
I thought you meant like it was a Discord hoping Mr. Beast would date Taylor Swift. Like shout out to Jimmy. I would love for that.
I
to
did
happen.
start that Discord.
Yeah.
I did.
It's not-
Why you wanna fight about nothing?
What's your take as a female? Are you into abs, or are you just like, this is just what men think is hot?
Yeah, I do. Well, it's like my thing is like I don't have abs, so who am I to ask that the guy has abs? It's like I don't work out like that, so it's like, but of course it's like nice, but
They're nice to look at, like
sometimes.
aesthetically. Okay.
But like there's a line where then it gets too much.
Well, there's a couple of lines.
Yeah,
that go down.
exactly. But like then it's with that comes a guy who's in the gym constantly. That's all he thinks about. That's
Right.
like his whole
Personality.
and that for me is a no.
That's fair, because that's
Yeah.
your personality.
Yeah.
You're always thinking about, how do I get more protein? How do I get into
Yeah.
the gym more often?
Incessantly. It is funny because you do watch the line of like Zac Efron looking
Yeah.
good and then looking just so vascular.
I know.
And
Well, and
insane.
then he had that Netflix show where he was like traveling around the world, and
Yeah.
then he was like eating something he hadn't eaten in so long, and it was like something very normal, and he like started crying,
It was just like a slice of pizza.
like something like that.
It's been 9
Yeah,
years.
and he was just like, I think it's kind of known that he has like body dysmorphia.
Right.
Like he's actually been quite outspoken about like
Yeah.
how difficult, like I think, and like even like what guys' muscles looked like in the 80s movies versus what they have to look like now for Marvel movies. Like
Right.
the standards are even crazier. So
They really put him through the ringer as he got famous, and really shaming him for being overweight, and then
Yeah.
he shrinks down. Now you're getting shamed for being too thin and not loving yourself, I guess. I don't know.
but I know.
Which has been happening to female celebrities forever.
Yeah,
It finally happened.
we stop.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking, Jonah Hill. Zac Efron, Jonah Hill. In my mind, same guy.
Yeah.
Same guy.
But yeah, Jonah Hill too has
Yeah, Zac Efron, new face, new bod, steroids onto the max.
Well, that's what happens eventually. That face
Get wider. Yeah,
Yeah.
you get abs on your face. They just start growing bigger.
yeah.
That HGH.
That's what it is, right? That's what causes that.
It makes you. I think it makes your head bigger. It makes your neck bigger.
He
But-
had jaw surgery.
But in like 2012, like that's the thing.
Well, I don't know. There's like apparently he like broke his jaw.
He had said that on an interview, but then he said he broke it in 2012. But that face thing didn't happen until like 2 years ago.
Also, like my partner's a
Something's
nurse,
afoot.
and she saw the thing, and she's like, the thing he had wouldn't make that.
That happened.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think-
people come out looking really fucked up.
Yeah.
We're all on board with like, this is because of the HGH, and we're all kind of just like letting it slide.
Yeah.
Because we all like Zach.
I mean, do we though?
Did you see
I-
Adam Claw? Did you see that?
Yeah, I did
I-
see it. I thought he was actually incredible in it.
So good in it, but like his body looks crazy in
Yeah.
that movie.
It looks
He's,
like Hulk Hogan.
He's like rock solid, and also he's shorter. Like he's like 5'8", 5'9".
Mhm.
So it's just sort of this like compact like, and then his haircut's very square. So it's like he just looks kind of like this like Lego like block character.
Mhm.
Yeah, he looks like the Hulk or something,
Yeah.
like what Lou Ferrigno would have looked like
Yeah.
before
So, like,
CGI.
Because it's an 80s movie, it kind of works.
Right.
Like his body is just like rock solid.
Yeah. No, the opening scene is him getting out of bed too, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what you're there for? It's just like, hey, look at these bodies. Or is the storyline good in it? I know.
You can't not go to a movie. Like if you ever go see Creed, everyone seeing, especially every actor who sees that, we're all like, I gotta cut out the carbs.
Yeah.
Gonna stop drinking.
That'll make me look like him.
Yeah.
Cut the
That's
carbs.
it.
I'll look just like him.
In 4 days from now, you look
Yeah,
like Michael
right.
B. Jordan.
It is funny how like standards have changed. 'Cause I was watching a video of like The Rock. He was doing something on set. It was some like
Mhm.
on my videos, and he was with a bunch of other people who were all jacked. And I was just thinking, I was like, remember when The Rock was the most jacked guy
Yeah.
ever?
Mhm.
And now I'm watching this film and like, I don't think he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, standards have changed so much.
Everybody in this film looks like The Rock used to
Yes.
look like.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
He
Yeah.
looks small. Yeah.
Like him on WWE versus what he looks like in a Fast and Furious movie.
Totally.
And Vin Diesel, even J.K. Simmons. Like when you play a bad guy in a Marvel movie, everyone's jacked, no matter your part.
Yeah.
Kumail was the comic relief in Eternals, and
Well, now he's doing interviews being like, I have never been more depressed.
yeah,
And it's like,
because also if you do all that work for
Yeah.
2 years and then your movie bombs, you're kind of like,
yeah.
did I need to cry when I was eating that pizza?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And you kind of screwed up your typecasting a little bit too.
Yeah. Well, I know.
I had that a little bit. Like when I was like I was saying, the summer that I had abs, the one
Mhm.
summer.
Take us back there. Yeah, paint that
God,
picture.
I was 28, and But like I felt, I felt these auditions, new auditions coming, that I was like, oh, okay, now I'm being seen as this thing. And then, one summer, I think I just stopped working out and I ate everything. Oh, I think pandemic happened. I ate everything, came to a much more natural body weight. And then first few auditions I had out of the pandemic, I was like, oh, I can't sustain that forever. I need to find my new typecast, basically.
Like you decided it wasn't even worth it.
Nah, man, I don't want to do that. Like I said, I'm not naturally built that way. I'm athletic, but it doesn't look like that all the time. And I have to have a lot of prep before I take my shirt off and film. Or some people don't.
You're just gonna lean into comedy more.
And I am. And I am. Yeah.
That's what they used to tell Kumail, because he always, prior to this, was a guy who liked working out. And his comedy friends like Pete Holmes and Jeselnik back in Chicago told him, hey man, no one wants to like laugh at someone who's jacked. Like you like pick one.
It changes the way the audience reacts to you for sure. Like I always like, I like to play a heel in my improv shows, I like to be the guy the audience loves to hate, but like kind of in a charming way. And when you are fit, they don't come back around as easily as if you are not
just an asshole.
Yeah, you're just an asshole. You're just the asshole.
Oh, really? You find they hate you more?
Yeah, if they hate you more, and they're not as willing to like you. So, like my comedy, when I was in better shape, I had to soften it, and I had to I work on other things. I have to be wittier. I have to be more story oriented. Like find other stuff, but I can't lean on that heel button. Because you don't look the part anymore. If you got a few extra pounds, people are more likely to go, "Ah, man, I'm like him. I can laugh at what he's putting down."
You kind of like don't want to remind people of their high school bully or something.
Yes,
like looking like a DJ.
Yeah, I like to look in the corner like I'm about to ask you guys.
Turning some tables.
I normally wear a dead mouse helmet when I do this. Yeah.
Right,
Did you ever get into that dream of being a DJ at one time when it was really on the rise? No. DJs really took off. Knowing that wasn't your vibe, you were like, I can't wait to work at some weddings and really spin someone.
Work at some weddings. That was your goal. It was not to be like
not Steve Aoki or going to be like the best wedding DJ.
Oh yeah.
All the hits, all the covers.
Yeah. For every DJ Tiesto, there's like a DJ tomorrow, and he's at a wedding right now, just like sadly playing some other people's songs.
Yeah.
I never did when I was younger. I actually, it's funny, like 3 years ago, I thought about it. It was in the
when you had those abs, they diluted your mind.
Like, wait a
changes your mind.
How do I get more people to look at my abs? I got like shockingly into EDM in a way that I had never been ever. In the pandemic, I think it's because like near the end of the pandemic, it was the only thing that was open, like illegal raves. And illegal that was like the only thing you could go to. So me and my partner would go.
Illegal folk music wasn't quite as big.
No, it wasn't. That was too underground.
Right.
That was all being broken up by the cops.
Yeah.
But we were going to that, and I was like, oh, this is the thing you can do, and people will come. And I never really listened to EDM, and I'm starting to get it. And then.
Like the drugs are flowing, and I'm like, well,
exactly.
The only difference was the acid that you had never taken before.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. And like literally, 3 years later, everything comes back after the pandemic, and all of a sudden, I'm like, no, I like other things.
Right. If you're it's like living in a small town. If you only like know those people, you're like, oh, Brian's the best. Yeah. And then you meet real people, you're like, oh, EDM sucks. Brian's a racist.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Did you have any hobbies that you got into over the pandemic or something fresh that you picked up?
No, I was like in the pandemic, I was telling Ian like I was unemployed for like all of 2020.
Nice.
But the roommates I lived with, one was a doctor, one was finishing up law school, and his partner was a working lawyer. So I was like their bratty teenage daughter who just like slept until 2. I would go downstairs, sit on the couch. I'd watch my Bravo like reality shows, and like my roommate was literally taking like kind of calls with his patients. Like he was just doing like general practitioner stuff.
You're watching the neighbors clap for him every night on their balconies.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, there they go again, the pots and pans.
He doesn't do his dishes a lot.
Yeah, and I just like all I did was went on walks, like long walks though. Like I would walk everywhere, and then I got like even more into podcasts, and just that was kind of I rewatched. I truly turned into a teenager again. I was like rewatching Like I watched Dawson's Creek, The Hills,
The OC.
The OC.
Big
One
OC
Tree
stan
Hill.
over here.
Yeah, I love The OC still, but I just I rewatched Girls, and I was just like hanging out.
Who were we? Who's your favorite character on Dawson's Creek?
Pacey,
Ah,
Joshua Jackson.
Everybody's a Pacey fan. I love
Yeah.
Pacey.
Yeah, gotta
Mighty
love- I love
Ducks.
him. Yeah,
I've never seen Dawson's Creek.
You never seen
No?
that?
haven't.
You haven't been down to the creek.
Yeah,
Oh my.
Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah.
Drink
No,
a
it's
little
actually
bit?
called Dawson's Creek, but like
Yeah.
for them, it's just the creek.
yeah.
Oh.
But I know
Fans are
it's a
called
really
creekers.
funny title. Yeah, it's just like it's my creek.
Yeah,
This-
yeah.
this creek
They
is
actually say that?
No,
Oh.
but like it's just like the title of the show. It's Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, yeah. Because his family has this house that lives on a creek.
Yeah.
Dawson's pretty well to do, and he's got a
Yeah.
pretty cool dad who's also has abs.
Yeah.
The dad has abs?
Yeah.
See, Jamie, time to come back around.
You can
God,
play.
it's
You
too
can start
much.
playing the dad.
Okay, give me some MDMA.
Yeah.
Let's go dancing.
That's instead of working out, that's how you got them?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing is watching some of our like actors we grew up with. Now they're playing parents too. So yeah,
Peers. Or
Yeah.
a show you look at and you think someone was so old. Jason Bateman in Arrested Development
Yeah.
was 35 when he got that. And he had like a 17-year-old Michael Cera son.
right. Yeah.
And you're like, I guess, yeah, it's possible. But you're like, oh, I wouldn't be going out for Michael Cera anymore. I'd be going out for...
yeah,
Jason
yeah,
Bateman?
something like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I had never watched Dawson's Creek and it was on Netflix, and I was like, now's the time.
Yeah, now is the time. Did you fall in love and out of love and back in love again?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's so 90s. Like one of the very first like storylines is Pacey sleeping with his teacher, and it's just like, this is hot, and that's like
It wasn't bad at all
there's
back
no,
then?
yeah, there's no like there's she doesn't get arrested at the end. She's
No.
just like, I'm going to another town, and she leaves, and he's like, you were the love of my.
And how old is Pacey in this?
He's like a sophomore. He's like 15.
So it's a full-on pedophile storyline?
Yeah, and it's just like
Right
it's
out the
this
gate.
Scene is like Pacey, so like mature. It's crazy. But same with Veronica Mars. Veronica Mars, she's dating a cop. She's like a junior in high school, and she's dating Max Greenfield, who's a cop.
That's why we don't revisit the past.
Yeah,
we don't go back
exactly.
to the past. It's very problematic.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
know what
he's
we're
a
doing.
young deputy, but he's still like
But do you
cop.
notice, like,
an adult cop when she's dating him. Yeah.
there's teachers in your high school who you thought were so old, and then you find out they were like 24, and you're
Yeah.
like, what? They let you
Yes.
do this at 24?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you
Yes.
think now is going to be problematic in the future? What do you think we're not seeing? What's the blind
Anything
side that
we
we're
say
not
on this
doing?
podcast is going to have to be explained on a talk show if these apps can finally book.
Yeah. In the
Yeah.
future, it's going to be like, did you give digital information to the computer god?
That's pretty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, did you give your any personal information? You typed in your birthday. Why would you do that?
Yeah, that'll be seen as like reckless.
Have you seen
Your
those Sora
fingerprint.
videos? The AI generated videos now. They have.
It's insane.
What are we even doing here? Let's just.
No, there's a
Oh,
way
let's
better
just-
version of us as AI.
Yeah, type it into Sora.
Yeah. No, I saw some guy's take on it. He's like, well, there's no good reason for this. There's no good reason. It's just going to be used for nefarious reasons. Any kind of, it's just going to people being creating perverted stuff all across the internet. I was trying to think of one good reason because that was his whole take. Was
You're
that,
saying people are going to make like child pornography with it.
Well, that was his take on it. I hadn't even thought about it, but like, yeah, absolutely, I assume so.
You're really
Now
clear.
I'm
Like, I wasn't thinking that.
But he was trying to challenge everybody. Come up with one good reason that for AI videos. What no one's gonna sit and watch a movie made by a computer
Unless they
There's
don't
no
know
state-
it's made by a computer. I think that's the only thing. It's like
is
if
that what you eventually we're all hoping that we're going to be duped into watching some trash Marvel movie?
I feel like exactly a Pixar movie will come out that you'll assume humans made, and you'll find out later AI wrote it and produced.
but then the
animated.
authentic, like you'll want to see
I
a
agree with
human
you.
movie. I would assume because like otherwise you're just having a computer do the work. You're just typing in. Oh, wouldn't it be cool if an elephant ran down some stairs?
It's like writing your own stories. Nobody wants to read your own book that you're writing
Yeah.
in your journal. You're right. I think like people are always worried that actors, like they're bringing back James Dean and putting him in movies, that people are like, oh, actors, we're not going to have that. But people like, we've seen it time and time again, be it chiefs or presidents, celebrities. Like people want to know there's a real human being in that music
Yeah.
video.
I think it's just going to expedite, like, as far as the good things go. I think, I do agree. I think the bad things, like, I can think of 9 horrible things to do with the technology
Mhm.
before I can think of one good. But I think it's going to be more like, we're writing a movie, like it's about rendering, right? So it's like I instead of going through all these channels and all these people to create this visual thing, I'll just create the visual thing and have it as a pitch or whatever, and we can then render from that and go, yeah, the story doesn't make sense, we'll edit this, we'll change this.
Like it's a good first draft kind
It's
of.
a great first draft and a good way to like expedite a first draft.
I mean, that's what you think, but then it's just going to be the whole thing, isn't it? It's just going to be like, yeah, give me a love story about these two birds that fall in love.
Yeah, eventually, yes.
And then,
Eventually, yes.
and then you're going to toss on your ski goggles that have 6 different visions.
Oh, the Air Vision Pro. Or...
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then, the only thing I see for that is like you're just trying to make work easier for yourself. Like that sounds lame as hell.
Yeah,
We're trying to have 17.
It's another
screens.
way to like cheat labor. It's just like, they're already treating like the crew, there's strikes and whatever, there's these issues with payment and being paid fairly. And so then with AI, it's just like, cool, I only have to hire one person.
Yeah,
instead of
you're
12
100% right.
people. And so that for me is like, I don't like that. And I don't want to watch something where, someone didn't put like, the thing with, I write press releases for work all the time. And then I've been told like, try using ChatGPT for it. I'm like, am I allowed? And then I tried it. And then my boss said it was flat and lame. So I was like, even for a pretty basic like press release, there's some like almost like soul missing.
Yeah.
And so I think with movies, but the way that things go, we just had the writer's strike. Like they don't want to pay people, right?
No,
Like,
but they want to keep all the money.
Yeah.
Whoever's making it wants to keep all the money for themselves.
exactly.
And then,
yeah.
and get.
But it's not going to go anywhere. Like that's the thing.
I
is There's
know,
no way,
I
like
know.
anything.
Well, it's like the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just going to get more and more so. So how do you get ahead of it? Or what's the value really? Does old stuff become more valuable? Like the physical copies of real
Dawson's
shows?
Creek DVDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Have-
yeah, with like physical copies and media, with like HBO Max now just deleting whole movies and that
Right.
sort of thing. And I saw like the movie 28 Days Later, you cannot get it.
Right.
It's not on streaming and the DVD's out of print.
What?
Yeah. And it's like a celebrated, like popular movie that people like, but like that
Right.
particular, I just saw the headline this week. Like it's just,
I got
nowhere.
it.
Isn't that a
Yeah.
frustrating thing?
I own it.
Yeah.
You've got the physical
There you
copy?
go.
No, I have the digital copy, but
Yeah.
because back in the day when I was ripping movies and downloading torrent movies,
I was
like,
wondering
gotta-
how far
Well,
you
see,
were
that,
getting.
that now is like a radical act of like
Yeah, and now
preserving media. Yeah.
Have you guys seen the Book of Eli?
No.
It's
Yeah.
essentially the premise of Denzel Washington movie about he's got the last Bible on earth in the future.
Mm.
That's you with this DVD of 20
they're all gonna come for the 28 Days Later, which is an amazing movie, and it's sad that nobody gets to see it like on its streaming services because it's one of those movies you turn on. It's like, well, I guess I'm just gonna be scared for the next hour and a half.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Totally.
Yeah.
Especially with Cillian Murphy and how he's blown up.
Yeah, so
Right.
I think that's probably how it came up is people are probably looking for it.
Like,
Oh,
isn't
right.
that frustrating? Like I,
Yeah.
'cause I remember, obviously I remember when we had to go to the movie store to like rent movies
Mhm.
and that's how you
Rent
got them.
porn in those little black bags.
Exactly. And whatever you needed, you went there to get. And then all of a sudden the internet was there and it was like, no, the whole thing is it's
Mhm.
all on the internet. So you
Mhm.
can download it anywhere. You can go do this. But now with all the streaming services and the payments and the premium packages and stuff, I'm like, I was watching TV the other day. I was like, we're just back to cable again.
Yes.
Yeah.
I gotta fucking watch. I gotta watch.
And there's
commercials.
ads in them. And
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
exactly. And now I can't watch this because I don't have access to it, and I literally have to go break the law. And
Yeah, we're back in, man. We're lawbreakers again.
Yeah.
Get rid of your Prime. They put on ads. What am I? Okay, we're gonna watch ads? No,
They added ads to Crave too.
we're
And
out.
they're giving you ads for Crave. I'm like, I'm watching it. I know.
Crave is like two guys in a room fucking a doorknob.
Yeah.
Like it is so brutal.
Yeah.
Like every time I'm on Crave, I've just been watching a show. I've been watching a show for the last 4 hours. I've been on Crave.
Mm-hmm.
And I log on and like, why isn't the first thing the show that I?
oh, that you just
Yeah.
finished.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I'm like.
I've
You're
invested
continuously
4 hours
watching.
of my life. You know what I'm doing.
Exactly. I'm here to watch this thing, and I have to go search for it, type it in, search it. I'm like, do you guys want me to go to Netflix? Because I will. Go.
And it's $30 a month instead of like $9. Like Crave is 3 times more than
yeah.
all the American ones.
Exactly.
That's one of the ones I'm splitting with my brother.
See, that's a smart move. For American listeners, Crave is our version of HBO Max.
They found me though. Netflix found me. They finally just kicked me out of my family's Netflix
Oh.
account.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Devastating.
And no one remembers the log back in, so it's
It's a dead account that costs $10 a month.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. So We're gonna start Streamio, I believe it is, or illegally just streaming the whole kit and caboodle. Get yourself a nice VPN. Start stealing every single show that there is. Because
Scott's really making sure he doesn't work very much. Talking about stealing.
Now's the time. No one owns anything. They're all just putting it up there in the ether, and then they can take it away at any point. If you're buying something, you should be able to have it, right? But they're just taking it away whenever they please. So guess what? I'm just gonna start.
You're
stealing.
Robin Hood, man.
28 days later, you'll see. When you need it, you'll come to me.
Yeah, you can start charging people.
I'll do showings. I'll do showings. Of it.
Live showings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like any service. Like when Uber first came out, it was so much better than cabs. It was way cheaper. People were nice. There was bottled water. There was phone chargers. And then now it costs more than cabs. Like you get home from the airport in Uber, it's like $60. All of these disruptor companies start with the better service, win all our business, and then just turn it into cable.
They just
again.
become what they're disrupting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they like that moolah.
Honestly, cabs are better. Taxis are better.
They are.
They feel better. They have the whole back seat ready to
You
go.
get to listen to a guy's full-on phone call for 4 hours.
Not only they're not amateur drivers, they've been in the game. They know what they're doing.
There's no Waze app. You're right. You're like, I'm going here. They're like, perfect. Got every street memorized.
The
Yeah.
downside is last few times I've tried to get a cab late at night, they have always jacked up the price to something that is
Yeah.
definitely not what it's worth. Like definitely like $60 to get home.
Hey,
It was fully like corrupt right before. Like I was so happy when Uber came out because I remember guys would pretend not to take debit,
Yeah.
which was illegal apparently against like the cab code, and stop at ATMs.
code.
There's a code, that little
Yeah.
thing on the back
Code
of the
of
seat,
conduct.
baby.
Oh yeah.
The
See,
oath.
there was rules, regulations. We've been here before. People were given, I guess the word isn't gypsy rides anymore, but just like regular people giving people rides in the back because it was unsafe. And now here we are coming full circle. Got to get those rules, regulations. Big Daddy has to come down on the taxis because I'm tired of amateurs just driving their cars and then stopping in the middle of the street with no hazards on and just like people falling out of their cars like it's a thing to do. We gotta act like there's other people on the road, is what I'm saying.
Not in Toronto.
I knew I was poor when I used to take cabs back in the day because when they stopped at red lights, I'd be like, fuck, because you're watching that little thing tick up.
Yeah.
It was like, that's what I liked with the flat rate of Uber. You're like, okay, it doesn't matter how fast they get there. I'm in for $12.
This is what it costs.
Versus the cab was almost incentivized to drive slowly. But I used to hail those things like I was naked running out of a cornfield. Like, just like,
But there's nothing like if you're late and you get in a cab and you're just like, get me there.
yeah.
And he's like, Roger that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like just like finding roads where there were no roads.
Because they knew, you're right. They knew all the back road.
Exactly.
I used to want to be like, okay, here's $50. The faster you get me here, it's like a reverse clock. Like it's going to count down from 50 instead of.
Emma, what is your favorite new piece of technology that's come out in the last 5 years?
Oh God. TikTok.
TikTok's great.
I mean, TikTok is bad for you,
Yeah.
but
In the best way possible.
yeah, but, yeah, like, you lose hours.
Yeah, but who needs those hours? Who
you
needs
know,
them?
But
You-
yeah.
What
Oh,
were you
it's
doing
so
with
bad.
those- What were you doing with those?
Be
apps?
happy.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
No.
I had to put a blocker on my phone
Yeah.
that as soon as I can't check TikTok, Instagram.
Well, you can put that you can get TikTok to be like, "Okay, put in the code if you want to," or like you're getting kicked out, but you can put in your.
but the problem is, the code.
I know, and so then I just and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just
Because
keep
at that
going.
point you're hooked. You need the next
Dopamine.
Yeah, exactly.
person building their homestead
But,
and
I'll
talk.
be like alone and like laughing so hard because of like a video, but then you show it to a friend and they're like, "What?"
Look,
But,
I'm a
like,
doctor, Emma. I don't have time.
But there's something about being alone where and you're in your loop and like something just seems so funny, and then you'll like send it to a friend and they're like, "Haha." Yeah, but
Because now they're all a minute long. Who has that time to commit to
I know.
somebody's random
yeah,
thing
or
that
like
they sent you?
you people now they just start putting movies on TikTok in segments like part 1 to like
Right.
7
Right,
because you can do I think 10 minutes.
TikTok now is incentivizing you to post horizontal, like
Yeah.
full frame, longer than 2 minutes.
I guess I know what I'm doing 28 days later.
Yeah. Literally.
Part 2.
Literally.
Did you guys see that movie Surrogates back in the day? It essentially was like everyone was in almost like VR, where everyone would wear these helmets, and it was with Bruce Willis, I believe, and they were all beautiful in this like digital world, and nobody in real life was living anymore. We were all just sitting in these helmets, and then you'd live in that other world. But it's not too far off from what we have now, where it's like, hey, look how cool I am on Instagram,
Yeah.
or look what I look like with these filters. that in a way we're all almost like living through these apps versus like how often do you actually see each other, people you haven't seen in a long time, versus you're like, oh, I know what Jamie's doing. I know we did an improv show last night, but for all I know, you made that up. You put that poster up. You didn't actually do that.
Yeah.
And now you can.
And now I can.
You just put your face on there, right in that. I had an amazing improv show. There was 500 people there. That video rendered. Just toss that up on Instagram. Guess what? You're the biggest fucking star in the world.
Totally.
And in a way, like, it's sad, but almost that can become more important socially than like your real life. Because if really you're just sitting there going on 5-hour walks every day, but your Instagram is like, add another EDM show, flying private. It's sad, but people are like, wow, Emma's got such a cool life. I should give her this job.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I was reading this marketing book that was talking about Instagram and social media, and it was saying, people make the mistake of thinking social media is a social community when actually it is and always has been an advertising machine.
Yes.
And it is generally for, like, I guess, corporations and entities to advertise themselves and their services and what they're up to and so on and so forth. But people latch onto it. And then, of course, you start advertising your life. You have your own brand now that is just your persona. And especially if you don't realize that, if you're like just a regular person who's a bank teller and has no reason to want to advertise yourself, it could be obviously incredibly depressing.
There's a pressure to be like, oh, I got to share that I'm in Mexico now on vacation. I saw a guy yesterday in front of the library holding some skis, and he held his phone and had a huge smile on. He was clearly taking a selfie. And then as soon as he put his phone down, his smile just dropped. And it was like, oh, he's not happy, but he wants his friends to think he's happy. It was so shocking to see. Just being like,
well, and I think, with like monetizing, especially Instagram modeling and stuff like that, there's this idea of like, there's this writer, Gia Tolentino, who writes for The New Yorker. And she has a lot of articles about this kind of thing, about how just like you need to monetize just your existence. Like you're not even really doing anything, but it's like, oh, but you could make money. So why not make money? And so it's this like, and like it goes like as far as like OnlyFans is sort of like,
it's terribly sad.
You could be making money doing it. Why post a bikini pic on Instagram if you could be making money from posting on OnlyFans? And it's sort of just this like, you're wasting time, you're leaving money on the table.
Like monetize everything.
Just monetize everything.
Which is kind of sad,
because,
being like
simply because you can. And so she writes about, she has a really great article about like Instagram face and how like all girls are starting to kind of look the same because so there's actually like Instagram face because everyone's just, they want the lips, they want the eyebrows, they want the nose job. Everyone wants that same like very European nose.
Right.
So then actually like a lot of women are just kind of morphing. There's like one face that everyone's kind of after.
They all look related.
They all look related. They all kind of look like it's kind of the Kardashians.
Well, they got that app that tells you what's the most symmetrical face, and like we're gonna go after that.
Women will talk about going to get Botox, and they just want the 11s as they're called, like right here, and like they go, and that's all they want, and I just want a little bit, and then they go the next time, and then like the injector goes, you know what would actually look really good? Right here.
They'll fill here, like pop.
But yeah, and so then like, and you just progressively get more. And so
because you can't tell, like you lose sight of what you actually look like.
What's their take? Is their take that it's good? You should be monetizing everything you're doing if you're gonna do it anyways?
No, hers is like, isn't that
right?
Like, or like, where does this go?
Right,
like, to what end type of thing. And it's like just this kind of monetizing just your day to day.
And the downside is like if everybody's doing that, then, and if you're not doing it, then you're either really hedging your bet that it's all going to be out of fashion in the next 10 years, 15 years, or growth and you're just completely left behind. So but yeah, with this, I mean, then there was a trend of then like I'm getting my fillers dissolved, and so then there was sort of like, and then the makeup trend was clean girl makeup, and so like looking natural and looking
well, it'll always be something new.
There's always something new, and things come in waves and things come back. And so,
that's the thing about getting these surgeries like BBLs and things. It's like that's in vogue right now.
Yeah, how's yours holding up?
It's I'm comfortable right now. I feel like I'm sitting on a dinghy.
Yeah, no, and you have to buy a certain like mattress because you can't lie on your butt, so you have to lie down, like face down for like weeks. It's such an invasive surgery. Like what you go through to get it when you go.
Like, you've looked this up, or you have one.
Again, TikTok
Oh,
just
right.
gives me all of this
Right,
straight to my front door. But
It's fat, like from
Yeah.
your stomach into your butt.
so you're
You get double down.
injecting
You
it.
get a little bit of a lipo plus the.
And then
That's why you like it.
That's a nice
you
move.
get injected elsewhere, but then a lot of women like fly to like Miami to get it done.
Yeah.
So on like the plane back, you can't sit down. So then you have to sit like on your knees on the floor and like sit on your chair like this. because
Are there
you can't
photos of
sit
that
down.
on
Yeah.
flights?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I've seen-
really?
Just like on Twitter.
Looks like
I
everyone's
like-
praying, like the plane's
Yeah,
gonna
like you
crash.
sit kind of like you're praying like on the plane because you can't sit down for like a long time.
But-
It's just such a
I feel like
and,
that's against the
and
rules.
doctor-
Like, what did
well,
they do?
doctors will say that is like it's the most invasive, one of the most invasive surgeries, most dangerous surgeries.
Dang.
And so, and it's all, and it is a trend. It will go away, and it kind of is, with Ozempic. Now
Right.
the thing is to be like early 2000s thin again.
Cocaine skinny.
Yeah,
It's back in.
exactly. So
Christina Aguilera is gaunt.
so skinny. So, she's back to looking like it's 2001 again. So
Yeah.
So then the women who went through all that and really put themselves in danger. But like it's still like I just saw my first real life one not too long ago at the mall, and I was like, I've never seen one in real life.
It's like a celebrity.
Yeah, I was like, ooh.
It is weird to think though that it's like that's your McDonald's that you're eating, like your Diet Coke, like your fat is then becoming a sexual thing, like in your butt.
Yeah.
Like there is something weird about that being like,
I
no, I'm training.
I think they
Yeah.
use silicone too, don't they?
I think like you can get like injections, but I mean that's stuff like women trying to get it for cheap, and like it's they're getting something else injected in there, and then it goes into an artery, and then
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
like-
documentary about illegal
Yeah.
butt lifts in Miami.
oh yeah, there you
Because
go.
we went to Miami and I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Everybody had it?
Yeah.
here has it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody here has it.
Yeah.
It's not. It's common. It is
Standard. If you
it's
don't have
standard.
one, weird.
Exactly. Nobody's paying attention to you in the club in Miami if you don't have it.
If you're not bumping into things.
Exactly. basically.
Well, it's like, and there's totally a way where it looks pretty natural. It looks good. You just got like a little, like, and it's like great, but it can also look really wild. But
Huh.
if you want it, you want it.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
care how they do it, as long as women are altering their appearances in some way to appease me. That's all I care about.
I blame thong bikinis, the rise of thong.
Do you think that's what started? But didn't that start like 20 years ago?
Well, yeah, I guess, but it's like, I mean, you would work out, you would squat. And now
Right.
there's like a way more violent way of getting it done.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's like rap videos too. Like
Mhm.
whole
The rap
hustle
videos we
culture.
grew up on.
Yeah.
The thong bikini is wild to me. Like, we'd never had it when I was growing up, but then now you're like, everyone's out there in a thong.
standard bikini.
The standard bikini.
Yeah.
People just cheeks out to the world. Like, all right.
Notice
That-
Gammy didn't chime in when you mentioned the New Yorker article, but he's like, thong bikinis.
It's
I got
wild.
something to say.
Now we're back to our show.
It's
Yeah.
surprising to
Well,
me.
yeah,
It's like
like-
going from the 50s from like one piece bikinis. Like,
Yeah.
what? 2 pieces? People just showing off their midriffs? Come on.
Your ankles. Oh my god.
Do you find that the gym you guys go to, that people are filming a lot, like that type of thing, filming their squats?
Nah, the YMCA, baby. People are working out in jeans and
Yeah.
flip flops there.
I do see them more. And especially with younger people.
Mhm.
Yeah. If they're under 25.
The tripod is the new like.
Do people bring tripods?
At my
Oh,
gym, there's
yes.
tripods. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Wild. Well, yeah. It's for like TikTok content.
And the weird thing is, everyone like it's very much like the push-up bra and like the cleavage, and they're pretending they're doing an ab like plank, but it's like it's very clear what.
Well, it's funny. Like my parents were not gym people at all. Like we really grew up like hiking, biking, that kind of thing, skiing. But my parents, like as they've gotten older, they're like, let's join a gym. And my mom was just like, the stuff that people wear. My goodness. Like like those there's a legging where like it's ruched at the butt, so
Oh,
it
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
really makes the butt like. And my
Yeah.
mom like
It looks like the butt's eating the
kind of going
leggings.
in. Yeah, my mom talks about that all the time. She's just like, I can't believe my eyes.
Yeah, they're going to like an amusement park. They're like, whoa, look
Yeah.
at what people are doing these
Yeah,
days.
they're like, what are the young people up to? Yeah,
I want to be surrounded by good-looking people at all times. I don't think that ever changes.
Or like, they'll talk about like the heavily tattooed guys. Like,
oh, yeah.
right.
yeah, they're really like they're seeing kind of a different like subculture of people in our town now that they're gym people. These are people they were
And Your dad's
Dave.
got abs.
Yeah.
Your dad's on testosterone. He looks fucking great.
His face is wide as hell, but
Dude,
like,
He's got a
planetary.
square head.
yeah.
Yeah, they've become gym people, which is very funny.
Well, that's even like that's a thing of the last 30 years. Like just going to the gym regularly is. I was talking to a guy at my gym. He's an older fella, and he was saying, back in the day, we used to call these hardcore gyms, and there was one in the city, and you had to drive to Etobicoke to go to it.
Oh.
And I was like, that's crazy. Like now, there's a gym. Everybody has a gym membership.
People would take like Muhammad Ali. You look at his body; it looks like a fit person, but it's just like a naturally fit. It's not like Michael B. Jordan now.
Yeah, it's not sculpted and created by doing certain exercises, but
Nobody knew you could do that.
honestly, and why would you want to?
Who's got the time?
Who's got the time? We're busy watching TikTok over here.
Yeah.
No, it is crazy, and I think it's good, this push towards like not drinking and living healthy, and like a bit lame, but but it is everyone's move. In the gym, there's like a ton of kids just running around like trying to lift and like put on 25s or 10s on the bar, and like, all right, they're going for it because I remember having to work out.
I think you're thinking of a McDonald's Playhouse.
It feels like that sometimes.
Like
now.
kids are at your gym?
Yeah.
My gym has a
Through
no
the
kid
YMCA.
policy.
So that's the
You gotta pay
YMCA.
more. That's why I upped my membership.
No, well, I have two. I got the two memberships. I got one at a nice place, and there I'm like, this place is too nice. I like going to where people like you hate everybody that's in there, and they look.
You're a
like
man of the people. You want to smell scents while you're
Oh,
in the
it
gym.
stinks. It's just straight BO. It's because people are just wearing the regular. They come in off the street. They're throwing down some workouts, and then they just leave.
Go
The
back
kids
to
are
the
out running around wild. You're swinging weights around, and it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare, but
your nightmare.
my nightmare.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, better than the bougie alternatives.
Well, it's better than tripods everywhere. That's for sure.
For sure.
You've become fond of them.
Well, this way you can at least go up and tell them, "Hey, will you mind getting off this machine?" Or you know, the other ones, everyone's in their own little world with their huge headphones.
No one's got headphones at your gym?
No, man, they're just there
Listen to
embracing
the
the
PA.
world.
Yeah.
They're playing off their speaker.
Yes.
Does anybody here have any tattoos?
No.
I used to have a tattoo, but I was in this motorcycle accident, so now it's just a scar.
Cool.
Wait, what was it? What
It
was
was
it?
a
by the way?
dragon fighting Christ.
Oh, great.
Whoa.
No, I
Epic.
never have had one.
Epic. I wonder why you got in that motorcycle accident.
Man, it was a Buddhist thing.
Yeah.
Do you have any tattoos? I feel like you have
No,
tattoos.
no,
You're not a
no.
tattoo guy.
No, I wanted them. When
Yeah.
I was in high school, I wanted everything. I was gonna come back with some piercings, tattoos, the whole thing. And my parents, it was like, "We will kick you out if you
Yeah.
come back with a tattoo."
Probably good because you became an actor that you didn't like get the septum.
Now I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased. I don't want them. I don't. Yeah. Don't desire them. at all.
Yeah. No, I never like trusted myself to like something forever. So I think I'd like get the tattoo, look in the mirror and be like, what have I done?
That
Like, I just
Yes.
don't. I just know that the tattoos I would kind of think about getting when I was younger in my early 20s. Like now I'm like, Jesus Christ.
it's like your favorite shirt. You'll buy a shirt and be like, this is my new favorite thing. I'm going to wear this once a week.
This
And then a
is
year later, you look at it and
right
go,
now.
I can't
yeah.
believe I bought
Well,
this.
yeah, I wanted like keep calm and carry on tattooed on me. Like
Yeah.
that would have been
That would have been your
Yeah.
your motto right
yeah,
there.
just like across the back.
It just tweets.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, yeah, and then because
That'd be-
that became like an internet memes, like keep calm and watch Harry Potter.
Yes, it did.
Like, and it was like,
Right.
like if I had that tattooed on me,
and you'd have to go around saying, "I had this before it was a meme."
Yeah, I'd be like, no, it's just because like I have anxiety and it calms me down. Like it's just like stupid. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I saw a guy. I was just in Mexico like 2 weeks ago, and there was a guy there who was like tattooed head to toe, and his whole leg, one whole leg, it was all black and white, and like to his credit, like really good, beautifully done like portraiture work, but it was just like Travis Scott, huge on his thigh, and then like other rappers all the way down.
Was it Travis Scott shirtless like he's at concerts?
It was like kind of like to here, but he had like you could like a big part of the tattoo was a huge chain.
Right.
So that it kind of ended at the chain.
Right.
And then like him and then like giant here. And then there were some other rappers and like this was and then he walked away and he had Al Capone on the back.
Oh.
Like cigar. Like and I was like, are these like all your heroes? Are these all your like I don't know. But the art was really good, at least, but it was just like I want to know.
phases.
Each-
Turning his
with
leg
each
into an
man-
Instagram post.
You
Yeah.
pretty much like
Yeah.
walk by when you're on the street in like Venice and you see people like selling like Scarface, dogs playing poker, and this guy's like, yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
over
want that on me forever. Yeah.
That's
But
what some people. I've had friends. It's kind of surprising that for millennials no tattoos because I feel like that's very rare.
Yeah.
But people will say like I've asked friends like, do you
Yeah.
regret that tattoo? And they say no because it meant a lot to me at the time.
time,
Would I get it today? No, but it's almost like a time capsule of
Yeah.
who I was at 22.
You almost
Yeah.
need to get a bunch, you know, like, because I think the problem is if you have one, then all of a sudden it's imbued with like so much importance.
Right.
Whereas if you just like fucked yourself up with tattoos, then all of a sudden it's like, well, actually none of them.
Right, you're right.
Yeah.
None of it. Each one has less stakes
Yeah.
if you have 50 of them.
Yeah, well, I think like just hearing from people, like they put so much thought into the first one. They waited till they were 18 or whatever, and they really like cared about it. And then once you kind of know what it feels like to have one, then people kind of relax, and then they start just getting whatever. But like the first one feels like really monumental. And then
It's like anything, I guess.
but yeah,
Your first girlfriend,
yeah,
first time pirating, 28 days later.
yeah.
You only need one time, and then you have it for life, like a tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Beautiful. But yeah, my brother has lots of little stick and pokes.
He does.
So yeah.
Stick and poke was kind of trendy. I mean, maybe it still is.
Yeah, well, the first one he got was actually there was an artist in Victoria, and that was like her thing. So it was stick and poke, but professionally done.
Oh.
So that's how he started. He went to her, and then he has like one. He's like, my friend was learning how. So
Oh, yeah.
That's
Wow, yeah.
friendship.
With like a big pen. and
yeah,
a
like so
fucking
he
car
has
battery.
A car battery.
yeah. So he worked at David's Tea at the time. So he's like, yeah, I gave her some free David's Tea in exchange for her practicing stick and poke. So
He's at that level where he's now doesn't care at all.
well,
I feel
like
like
that's
friends-
how he's kind of always been. Is like, or like he's got a little, but he just got his first like professionally done.
Is it Travis Scott?
Yeah, no.
If you had to get one, where would you put it?
Well, I've thought about this.
Of course, you
And I've thought about this. I mean, the place for women kind of for a while is like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the old rip.
because you can kind of hide it, but like, yeah, I don't know. I'd probably still put it like somewhere.
I hear that's
there.
quite painful. Like
Yeah,
along
your
the-
ribs really hurts. Yeah.
any bone
Or
in the
I used to
sensitive
work with a girl who had lots of tattoos, and then when we worked together at a restaurant, then she got the like under the boob rib
Oh, right.
cage one, and she said that's like the worst pain. She's
Oh,
ever
and like
felt.
your solar plexus.
Yeah, and she says like your whole body kind of
goes into shock.
like shakes.
Yeah, sounds
and it's-
terrible.
Yeah, and she was like already really tatted, like legs, arms, but she got that while we worked together, and she said like I cried, and it was like horrible. So I was like, noted.
We have a friend, Orion. His first tattoo was on his
Oh my
skull.
God.
The first one.
First one.
Was it a
That
hit?
is first
Holy
one.
cow.
I believe he got it the
The
skull
Bam Bam
and then
Bigelow?
all the way down the spine. Like so you
Yeah.
can't get any worse for that.
Did
No,
he
you
get
made
all
up
the
your mind.
chakras?
I believe so.
I
Yeah.
saw that.
So after you've done that, you're like,
got the
yeah,
chakra done?
throw it on the belly.
You got all the chakras like all the way down.
Oh, chakras.
Yeah, like the
I think you meant,
symbol.
like, shock.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
The shocker,
Yeah,
the
it's
stinger,
like
the
everybody's
minivan.
body.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, he came across my TikTok For You page.
There you go.
That's what's funny with TikTok is like you're scrolling and then all of a sudden it is someone you actually know.
By coincidence, because sometimes TikTok
Yeah.
will be like, do you want to sync with your Facebook friends? And I'll be like, no. And then the next 5 people, I'm like, but I know these people.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
no, it showed me him, and it took me a second. to,
he's
like,
blown up
realize.
on
Yeah,
Orion
'cause he was
Surfs.
live streaming him going like ice surfing.
He's a ice surfing influencer, almost 100,000 followers.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what showed up for me. I'm like, I went to high school with him.
Sorry,
Yeah,
could we
so-
just explain what ice surfing is? Because I don't know that.
I mean, I don't know. He just.
It's river surfing instead of ocean. You're surfing in rivers in the middle of winter in Montreal. So he's dodging. It's actually pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Shout out to Orion Surfs if
Yeah.
anyone wants to check it out.
But
the
he's
guy-
pulled behind a boat, or he's
No. You go into the river and there's natural breaks where waves are kind of perpetual.
Okay.
So you essentially start upstream.
Yeah.
Lay on your belly on your board. I've actually done it with him in Montreal, and it kind of takes you, and you have to get into the pocket, and then you have to paddle and pop up in that thing, or you miss it, and then you're staying there perpetually as long as you can stay on the board. So he'll ride for like 45 minutes sometimes, and there's videos on YouTube and TikTok of him like dodging icebergs and stuff. I guess not icebergs, but whatever you call it, sheets
Was
of ice.
was it extreme surfing then?
It's looks
Yeah.
very terrifying.
Well,
You're all
yeah,
covered
then-
in ice after.
Yeah,
like,
he
your
had
boards are
because
all-
he has
Yeah.
a beard, so it's all like ice in his beard.
Oh, that
So, like,
sounds pretty cool.
It
so
was
that's what I saw was him kind of talking to like the users, like the
Oh, he's live streaming
He's
and
live
doing it at the same
streaming,
time.
yeah.
Anyways, I had
Like he's
peanut butter.
explaining the beard and like what happened, and I
Oh,
was
right,
just
right,
like,
right.
I think I went to high school with him.
With this fearless guy who stopped
Yeah.
feeling pain when
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
tattooed his
It's
skull.
kind of funny, like the games that you came up with as a kid, like the weird little like kick the can or whatever. Now, if you just had your shit together, you could make
Monetize.
a league. Like you could make a sport out of the weird little game you had as a kid.
Which is kind of amazing. Like what we were talking about before with there's a weird thing about monetizing everything or feeling like you have to, but at the same time, it does open the door for if you're the world's best kick the can player, you're probably living in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
We think of like, those moments when in your life where you're like, oh, I thought of an idea. It's probably not a good idea. And then like 3 or 4 years later, it becomes this thing and everybody's now you actually have, it doesn't matter where you're from in the world. You actually have the capacity to act on that idea,
Right.
Yeah.
make it your thing.
Your thing.
Yeah. And if you're willing to dedicate every day and you find an audience, which is, yeah, it is kind of cool. Like spike ball. There's professional spike ball leagues.
Totally. Tag. Have you ever seen the professional tag?
There's professional tag?
Yeah.
It's intense. It's all parkour guys who have just
course.
transitioned from parkour into this.
Yeah,
and
there's professional tag.
It's insane. And they are amazing. You don't want to go tag.
You
Hide
mean
and
on
seek?
that on those courses with the bars and whatnot?
Totally. Yeah,
I'm always so afraid they're gonna catch a toe and like land face
And they
first into
do.
the bar.
Oh, they do.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
great.
I was once at Canada's Wonderland, which is like Six Flags. And there was, you know how those little bars they have in lines?
Mhm.
And there was a little boy sitting on the top of that with his dad. And he was like, "This is the best day ever, right, Dad?" And he was like, "That's right, son." And as he said it, the good Lord took him down because he swung forward and hit his front teeth on the bottom bar and just knocked them all out and just looked up, blood everywhere, and just looks up at his dad. His dad just picks him up and they beeline out of the line. And I was like, yeah, that's life. You say you're having a good day.
That's right. That's why I got this tattoo on my back.
So I got that on
To
my back.
protect me.
Yeah. No day is good. Cursive.
Yeah. No.
What kind of tattoo would you get, Yami, if you were to get one?
I was thinking I would get a cherry blossom on my back. Yeah.
No
That's
need
it.
to explain.
No need to explain. No need to explain. My
Like-
mom's name is Cherry,
Oh.
and I'm half Japanese.
Yeah.
But honestly, never gonna do it. Who's
Oh.
got the time?
Yeah.
I'm too busy watching TikTok, and also I don't want it.
The pressure to find a good artist, to book it. like,
Oh yeah,
It's too much.
Forget about it. I was trying at one time. Like, what do? You find someone on Instagram, and you're like, oh okay. I messaged one person, and then like, hey, you do tattoos? I think they look great. Could I get one? And they never messaged me back. I was like, well, I tried anyways.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, that'll be $700.
Yeah, and you
Consultation.
don't even know the price.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Though now you can get some of my friends get these temporary tattoos that look absolutely real.
Oh, yeah.
Like the
Mhm.
the temporary tattoo tech
Yes.
is out of control.
How long do they last?
Like weeks.
So you can kind of try before you buy.
Yeah, I had a guy who had I thought he got a neck tattoo, but he didn't. He just keeps reapplying it once a month.
What does it say?
It's just a rose. Like I think it's
Ah,
just a
yes.
rose right
Classic.
here or something like that.
That's funny because a neck tattoo is pretty hardcore to be like, I'm going to wear this every day. But then the fake one is kind of like, well,
exactly.
it's like carrying a fake gun around or something. You're like, I'm
Totally.
almost a badass.
Totally. I don't want to get in any real trouble.
Yeah.
If my mom comes, I'd like to be able to
You can wash it off on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's extremely.
I want to
lame.
get fuck with me, I dare you. Just as a neck tattoo. Change
So-
your whole life.
So it's fading, like
Because anyone who does.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was told to hide my nose ring for my grandparents, so let alone a tattoo. That would have just. It's gone now.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
She did a really good job hiding it.
Yeah.
Do you
I
do you,
had one.
you still have the hole? Do you whistle?
You can
the-
feel. Yeah, you can just go like this. I can feel it. There's like
Oh yeah.
a little one in there. But yeah, I had a nose ring for a little bit. But
Yeah.
that was the old me.
In the '90s, the coolest thing was to get that one earring going. A kid in school in grade 3 had that earring.
Grade 3.
Oh yeah. He was the coolest kid in class.
Yeah.
For
Corey,
sure he was.
Yeah. And my crush at the time really liked him, so I was like,
Oh.
I gotta get myself an earring.
Yeah, gotta go.
And then I asked my parents, and they said, not with those ears.
yeah.
You got, you can't get them. That's embarrassing.
You were so sad you wheeled away on your wheelie shoes
Yeah.
to your room.
You're like, Mom, take me to Claire's now.
Yeah.
When you get. Yeah.
Yeah, no, not. They didn't let me do it until I was. Well, they said you have to wait till you're 18. I was like, all right, you're right. I'm gonna be over by then.
Yeah.
And we're all looking at your ears right now. We're like, I don't see any holes.
Nah,
They
nah.
were right.
Yeah, again, it's you think you have a good idea, and then check yourself because you never actually have a good idea.
Yeah.
All your ideas are normally terrible.
Mm.
And so you should just wait a little bit before they become terrible.
Exactly. You gotta think about it.
Yeah.
Had we waited a few more weeks, we never would have made this podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, monetizing our conversation.
Yeah.
That's true. I know we're all guilty. We're like, don't. This is disgusting. Subscribe to the Patreon while you're
Yeah,
here.
you can send me the short form content.
Yeah.
perfect.
You gotta hedge your bets. You either become obsolete or part of the growing.
It's 100% right, man. A friend of mine just made a movie, and like he made it in the States. He was actually able to get like some names in it, which is amazing. They got a distributor, and like it went well. And the distributor comes to him after and is like, "Yeah, so hey, your next movie, just let us know. We're here. We want to work with you. Couple criteria, just get some names in it, and then just let us know what genre it is. Preferably it's horror and rom-com, and we're there for you." And he was like shocked because he's like, the idea to my distributor actually didn't matter at all. The thing that mattered was the genre and the math of who's in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's like, I don't care. Like now it used to be like a producer holds all the cards and goes, I'll decide if your idea is good or not good, and now it's a lot more like, well, Jake Gyllenhaal and Rachel McAdams are in it, and it's a rom-com. Stop.
They know it's going to make money and
Don't worry
get
about it.
streams.
Yeah. Just make it. We'll find you some money and
Right.
we'll get this thing going.
Mhm.
And so like talking about something like this is like now you need cultural artifacts
Mhm.
to attach to your person, so that you can be.
But isn't it harder to get cultural artifacts when like every niche is segmented, everyone's segmented, and the people they want? Like you're just gonna have to keep pulling Brad Pitt back down into things.
Definitely, especially.
Please don't grow older, Brad Pitt. We need you.
Right, because he's one of the celebrities that is like established before the Addison Rays and the
Right.
Yeah.
Charlie. Yeah, that has that universal. That's interesting.
Sell his likeness to some AI program, and like a friend of mine was saying, in the future you're not gonna be in movies. You're gonna be acting at prompting Brad Pitt's AI in movies. So you'd be like auditioning to do a scene, and then they're just gonna put Brad Pitt's face on you.
We can see how well you work with the Brad Pitt, the AI version of it.
Yeah.
He's so charming though. You're like, he was the best.
Apparently a terrible father, but who knows?
That's just AI propaganda.
Who knows anymore?
I heard that those silences that sort of overtake a conversation after a while.
Mhm.
I work the one
Like
just
like
happened.
the one that we just had.
I'm about to interrupt.
Yeah, the one that nobody would have known about.
Apparently, it's a survival instinct of like a tribal survival instinct. Is that it's like everybody syncs up for a moment to go quiet and like look around
Oh wow!
to just check.
And then one idiot's just talking in the corner, and they're like, "We're gonna let that guy die."
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'm that guy.
Yeah.
He's dinner.
When the lions come in.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
dinner. Guys know about Dimois?
No, but I like the way you're saying it.
Are they a writer of the New Yorker? Because
Yeah.
we're really dumb.
No, it's not. But
It's a
it's
thong sales.
Dimois.
Oh, yeah,
You guys don't know about Dimois?
No.
Oh my god. Okay, so Dimois is it's an Instagram account, but it started with the person was anonymous, and they're like, I'm an insider in like the entertainment industry. I know gossip. I'm gonna just like publish gossip, but also send me gossip, and I'll just publish it. And so it started like you had to request to be added. I did that back when it was earlier. There was like 4,000 followers.
Right.
So it felt, and she was anonymous. And so it really felt like people are like, is she a publicist? Is she a personal assistant? And it was really like, and then it just really blew up, and now it's public, and she has a book deal. She has like, and I think her identity has been revealed, but she still operates under Dimois. But then people just send Sunday morning or Sundays, she does sightings. So people just send in all week, saw this person here, like picture of the back of their head at a restaurant. And but then it became like, now actually celebrities have like been like, you're basically tracking me.
Right.
And so it kind of, because it blew up and it became so big and like huge, like, news outlets follow her and all that stuff. So then those Sunday sightings became actually like really invasive. And, now people know everyone's favorite restaurant. And so people would just wait. And so it's gotten, the more followers you get, the kind of more out of hand it gets. But it's the same idea with the Sunday sightings.
Yeah.
This sort of.
And they have that, Sunday sighting. They had Taylor Swift has that private jet stalker
Yeah.
who's been
Right.
tracking her
Yeah,
plane
she's
and all the
now,
movement. But isn't that it's
suing.
always been a part of the cost of celebrity is like you no longer have any privacy, especially if you're posting it all.
Yeah.
Now
over.
the tech is so efficient.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
Literally, we could find out where they are at this moment.
Because
Yeah.
you have the Discord.
I've
Yeah.
started the Discord.
Yeah.
If you
But
want to
yeah,
submit something.
the private jet driver is like she's suing for like she thinks it's putting her in danger.
Well, because also everyone has a phone. Like being a celebrity
Yeah.
30 years ago was an autograph, but now everyone's filming you in the
Yeah,
grocery
it's
store.
not the autograph they want, it's the picture, it's the video.
Yeah.
it's the-
And it's because like also what the photo can do for you.
yeah,
It used to be like I want a signature so I can tell my grandkids one day I met this person. on
yeah,
the
I
street.
can frame it.
And now it's like I can take a photo of myself, say Taylor Swift was in my improv show over the weekend.
Yeah.
Yes!
Sold out, it went
Mhm.
well, and
Mhm.
now I have some cash.
Yeah,
you know?
if Taylor thinks you're funny,
So
I'll think you're funny type of thing. But yeah, it's
Do you follow
Yeah.
blind items as well? Or
little
I only heard that term
a
recently.
little bit. I used to really read Gawker back in the day. Like I used to like heavily read, like all the time was reading Gawker. And Gawker also did that kind of back in the early blogging days. It was like New York sightings.
Right. And then they got
Just-
shut down, right?
Hulk Hogan, baby.
Yeah.
The original Zac Efron body.
Yeah. Yeah, Peter Thiel shut it down.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because they outed him for being.
Yeah, and so they sued him.
We're not saying it because
Yeah.
we don't want Peter Thiel to end our show.
Allegedly.
We don't know what.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Yeah, but yeah, I used to read Gawker heavily, and they were really into that stuff.
What's this? Oh yeah, do you have any spicy blind items going on right now?
No, I don't read them as closely as it, but like that's a whole genre of TikTok is people just reading blind items.
Right.
Yeah, but
You know what a blind
I don't know
item
if
is
it's
there,
on my
Ian?
head.
You look at me like I'm an idiot.
Well, it's only because you're looking like an idiot. You're just like staring
Yeah.
at the floor, being like,
Yeah, it's a
"Hi."
bunch of blind guys sorting through items.
Yeah.
No, it's exactly. It's a secret, like anonymous drop about
Well,
like.
it'll be like this C+ actor is dating this A- singer.
Yeah. What's
Do you think
nice about them
celebrities
is,
have
like,
ever,
a bit of
like-
a riddle? It's
Yeah,
like a,
it is a riddle. Like
yeah.
you have to kind of think like,
it's, yeah.
or like
Who
this-
is A? Who is C? And then you try and figure out who it is. So it's a bit of a puzzle.
Yeah.
For sure, people are doing them about themselves
For
too,
sure.
right? Being like, look who's at LAX at 7, probably having an affair.
100%,
Jamie Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
yes.
Well,
A
yeah.
family friend of mine was he was a personal assistant to Russell Crowe on a couple movies, and there's a bunch of stories from this era, but like one of the things was that people in LA will get dressed up in their, really nice lay around the house clothes,
Mhm.
and then go walk down a specific avenue in LA where paparazzi sit and wait for whoever's ready to walk down the street that day.
Yeah.
And it's like you could avoid that street.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 reasons you would not be on that street. But if you're having a dry month or whatever, your publicist will be like, put on your, $300 sweatpants and whatever, and
You're grabbing
go for a walk with your
coffee.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then look mad when you're like,
Exactly. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm just a regular guy.
Yeah, living in Hollywood, walking down Rodeo
Yeah.
Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
That's what the Kardashians do. Like none of their
It's all
paparazzis, like them like getting into their cars, like that is all prearranged
Totally.
because like they're dressed up.
It
very
must be
nicely.
so exhausting.
Yeah, I could. It's just like, well, for them, it's just like normal, but it's like yeah. Or the younger girls, Kendall and Kylie, they grew up just like that. So for them, it's just like that's what life looks like.
What do you think the most important thing of your life is that you could possibly monetize that people would be interested in? Do you have anything? I got nothing. I'm thinking about my day. I'm like,
Well, I need to be. There is that like lane on TikTok where it's just like, I'm a millennial. Like, let me tell you, Gen Z girls, like, I'm your big sister. Like, let me help you through dating, or let me tell you what it was like when Jake Gyllenhaal was dating Kirsten Dunst. Like,
that's
I'm
our
gonna, like, I'm
that's
gonna,
our
like,
mood landing.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna
That's-
interpret like
okay.
early
I remember
2000s
where I
pop
was.
culture for you.
Something they care nothing about.
Like, or like there's women who like their whole thing is they do skits about like how they dressed in high school. So like doing their makeup with like bad eyeliner and bad
blue
foundation.
eyeshadow going
And they
on.
go on like eBay and buy like the old clothes, like
That's
juicy
kinda fun.
sweaters, and they do skits about like what I dressed like in 2003. And there's multiple of them, and they'd probably make so much money. And they're just like, that's like their whole shtick. And I think I could make that happen if I knew how to make a TikTok.
That's the only thing holding you
That's
back.
the only thing holding me
You
back.
just
But
press
also-
record on the thing and then you
Yeah,
upload it.
The
Like,
market is saturated. Now there's too many of them. But now some of them, they're like reporters for like magazines on red carpets, and they're like fully getting their own brand deals, and now they're their own brand, all because they were like, let me talk about The Hills, the reality show.
That's the
And-
nature of the business though. Like
I know, and then you just climb up, and then there's like some women that I think are like so cool, and they're kind of doing like my dream job because they just like
did it.
got
Talking
early
about
on
Dawson's Creek.
TikTok.
This
Yeah.
could be you. You could be
I know.
hitting them with the Pacey lifestyle.
The rewatch podcast.
But you just gotta, you catch the lightning in a bottle, and you
Yeah.
gotta transition to something sort of related. Like you might start with the '90s makeup thing.
Yeah,
How many of those videos can you make?
exactly.
And
So-
then eventually you go, what else is '90s? I'll be the '90s.
yeah, well,
girl,
it's funny
and
you
I'll
watch
be
them
this,
like they were
this.
doing their high school stuff, and now it's like what I wore to the club in 2013.
Yeah.
Like they're starting to climb up, and then there's even 2016 videos. It's like it's not even that long ago.
A buddy of mine got really big for mukbang. Like he went right when that first started. He was
Right.
getting into mukbang, and
Wait, what is this?
you never heard?
When you eat
Oh,
as much
yeah.
as you can in one sitting.
Yeah,
right?
let me
no.
change your.
Oh,
life.
that's just called every meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we found your niche, my friend.
Yeah.
If you basically sit down with too much food, you film yourself, and you just try and eat it and describe it as it's happening, and you by the end you're like so full. It is a whole subculture on.
Mhm.
Isn't that guy? Wasn't there a guy that died on YouTube? Like that was his thing, just eating.
sure.
In 20 years, they're just diabetes influencers.
Definitely. There's the most famous mukbang guy is a guy from the States who started very thin and now he's gigantic.
Right. Oh, I thought that guy died.
He's dead on the inside.
Okay.
There is a guy that did die.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the point being, my friend has now transitioned just into food reviews. So
Yeah.
he started with
I
mukbang and
see.
now
Yeah.
he just does like Toronto food reviews.
Well, because now he's tasted everything on the planet. He's got a refined tongue.
Exactly.
Because there's got to be a point when you stop tasting the food and it just starts tasting like sludge because your tongue's done all the work it could.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your tongue is done for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it was also like a bit of a fetish thing.
Well, a bit of a
You know?
feeder situation.
Yeah.
People just watching people open their mouth and slamming in some
Yeah.
butter.
Like especially
Nut
like
squash
women
soup.
doing mukbang, like it's a weird fetish.
Oh, yeah?
thing. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'll check.
Yes.
That's our show. Jamie Kavanaugh, Emma Hamilton, thank you so much. Watch some more.